Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I have come up with one more simplest logic building problem, that is return nth Fibonacci term. So the Fibonacci sequence will be something like this, where the first two terms are defined as 0 and 1, and the subsequent terms are going to be the sum of the previous two terms. That is, Fibonacci of 0 is going to be 0, Fibonacci of 1 is going to be 1, and Fibonacci of n is going to be Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So this is how you can recursively define the formula for finding nth Fibonacci term. So you will be given an input which is going to be n, and you are supposed to return the nth Fibonacci term in this sequence. So I have given the Fibonacci sequence here for 20 terms, and it continues in this pattern. As you can see, the first Fibonacci term is going to be 0, the second Fibonacci term is going to be 1, and all the subsequent terms are going to be evaluated as the sum of the previous two terms. As I said, you can just define the formula something like Fibonacci of 0 as 0, Fibonacci of 1 as 1, Fibonacci of n as Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. This is how you can even use the recursive definition for finding nth Fibonacci term. So here, if the given input is 10, you are supposed to return the 10th term in this Fibonacci sequence, which is going to be 34. If the given input is 20, you are supposed to return the 20th Fibonacci term in the sequence, which is going to be 4181. Likewise, if the given input is 50, then you are supposed to return the 50th Fibonacci term in the sequence, which is going to be this one. So this is what the problem is all about. So I am going to show my solution using Java and Python for returning this nth Fibonacci term. So this is my solution using Java for returning the nth Fibonacci term. Let me first run through the test cases. So here, if I am giving 10, so you can see the answer is 34. Likewise, if I am giving 20, so it is 4181. So if I am giving 50, so you can see the answer. So here, as said in my previous videos, you are not going to read any input. So you will be given the input in long form, because it is expected that you are going to evaluate for larger numbers as well. So for that reason, the given input is going to be in long form. So for that reason, I have taken ABC also as long variables, and I can be integer actually. You don't require to make it long. So here itself you can just define it as int, and if n is going to be 1, then we are supposed to return 0. If n is 2, we are supposed to return 1, because the first Fibonacci term is 0, the second Fibonacci term is 1, and from third onwards we are supposed to compute the previous two terms. So for that reason we are using this particular logic. That's it. So in the placement exam, you are going to replace this system.out.print by return statement. Only change you need to make here is you just replace this system.out.print 3 statements by the return statements. And I have executed this on the Metal platform where all the test cases are passed. So this is the Java solution for returning the nth Fibonacci term. Coming to the Python code, it is going to have the same syntax with only varying in the syntax. The logic will be the same, only the syntax varies here. So again, let me quickly run through the test cases. So first, I'm giving 10. So you can see 34. Again, I'm giving 20. So you can see 4181. And lastly, I'm giving 50. So you got that. So again, the same thing. So in Python, we don't need to define the type of variables. That's why directly we are initializing the variables. And then I'm reading input. So this line you can ignore in the placement exam. Excluding this line, remaining all lines you can write as it is with again changing the print with return statements. I hope this solution is already optimized. You can even use the recursive procedure as mentioned. You can initialize Fibonacci of 0 and Fibonacci of 1, and you can define your own function, and then you can use the return Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. But then compared to recursion, this straightforward method will compute in less time, though you get the lines of code reduced using the recursive procedure, but still time complexity will be increased. So this is the better optimized version. I hope this solution is clear. I'll come up with one more logic building problem in my next video. Thanks for watching.